Hello, and welcome to Keeping Score Board Game Reviews. I'm Cody. So today we're taking a look at Doomcat. This one was one we actually purchased for ourselves from Gen Con. We finally got around to playing it, so, we'll give it a review. This is a roll and write game. So you've got 3 dice. There are 3 boxes included in the deluxe edition. Each one adds 2 players to the game. So you can play with 2, 4, or 6 people. What you'll do is you can either use the guide and the instruction manual or randomly choose 3 things to come out here as in the middle challenges. And you'll look at the back. See how the back has the sigils and everything on the back? So everything is a 4-piece pie quadrant with numbers 1 through 6 on the outside, and it does the same repeating pattern of numbers twice. So 6, 1, 4, 2, 3, or 2, 5, 3, or 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then each player is going to find a matching card with the exact same pattern on the back to play. And then you'll flip these over, and these will be scoring conditions. So we got intersection, and what that is you'll score 3 victory points per intersection, with the example given as an intersection is any place where 2 lines cross. It does not count if 2 lines originate at the same number, and those numbers are candles, so you know. And then we've got isolation, and what isolation says is you're going to score 10 victory points per candle that wasn't used or crossed out. So how each turn works and why that matters is you're going to roll the dice. We have 2, 5, and 6. So each card has 7 places to put a number on the top. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one number, start there, and draw a line from that to another number. And the line has to be as straight as possible. You can have a slight bow, but none of this like S-shaped stuff. And then you're going to pick the 3rd die, and that, the reason it's called Doomcat is the cat has actually let everything out of the spell book, and you're trying to put it all back. So the Doomcat is going to knock out a candle, because he's playing with stuff again. So I'm going to select 2. That's going to go in the top here for me. And then I'm going to go from 5 to 6. Now I can do that on the same one that I wrote that number. So I can go from this 5 to that 6, or I can go from this 5 to this 6. Since I'm looking for intersections as one of my scoring things, I'm going to go ahead and write from candle 5 across the card to candle 6. And then we'll roll again. Oh, it's 6, 1, and 1. So I don't have either a 6 or a 1 in the top, but I can also put another 2 there if I had a 2. So let's say it rolled 6, 1, and 2. So I'm going to put a second 2 up here, which means I mark out the other 2 candle. Now the advantage to that is, though, every 2 that's rolled that plays on this first card is now considered a wild. So, I'm going to mark out the 2 for this one. I'll do a 1 to a 6 like this. And I'm going to circle that to point out that I'm going to score there at the end of the game because that's an intersection. Now we're going to roll again because you're going to go 14 rounds. And we're going to say this came up a 2 for the sake of teaching you how wilds work. I got a 1, a 6, and another 2. Well, doing a 1 to 6 isn't going to really help me much here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 6 up here as the Doomcat roll. And I'm going to turn that 2 into a 3 on this one, because it's wild. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, which creates 2 intersections for me to score at the end of the game. And you'll play like that for 14 rounds while keeping in mind that the two up here have their victory point conditions. So right now, things are looking pretty rough for an isolation victory point anything on this one. I mean, it can still be done. I can ignore that 5 for the rest of the game. And maybe, depending on how the dice rolls, I could ignore one other one. So I could score 20 points there. But I'm definitely going to score at least 9 from just the first 3 rounds because of how it was played. And that's how you play Doomcat. It is a relatively simple roll and write game with some nice puzzles that come up for how you're drawing your lines from point A to point B. And you always have to decide which of the 3 dice that the Doomcat has knocked over the candle of. You can knock over a candle that you've already written from. You just can't go from that candle any further after that. So if a candle has an X on it, you can't use that number again. There is some variation to the rule set. You can make it harder by playing with 3 goal cards, at which case the instruction manual will tell you which cards to play. Or you can randomly select. There is a campaign where you play 6 games back to back, and you get a final victor that way. There's also familiar cards, and these familiar cards will have scoring conditions on them. So for instance, the Moth is negative 15 score at the end of the game. But the way that you score with it is on each sigil card, you'll treat the final roll as if they were all wilds, which gives you, you know, a neat little twist there. So the familiars kind of break a rule, but they also, at least in the apprentice box, which is the one I have on the table, seem to always cost you points. 15 for the Moth, 10 for the Rat, 10 or 15 for the Hare. So if you're playing with familiars, keep that in mind. They may cost points at the end of the game, but they may give you a really neat scoring condition as well. I like this one. It's simple. It gets harder the more boxes you add in. The art is cute. The cards are nice. You can draw on them, of course, because it's a roll and write. They do provide 2 markers in each box and 3 dice in each box because you can also buy these separately from each other. It wasn't terribly expensive at Gen Con. I don't remember what Elizabeth paid for it, but it was probably $30 or something. I'd have to look on the website. I really like the puzzle. I really like the art and the concept behind it. But it is a roll and write, which isn't my favorite kind of game. So I'll give it a 7.5. Now, I know Elizabeth said this morning when she left for work that she really liked it. She gave it an 8. She wants to play more of it, again, of course. I'm like, well, we played a whole bunch. And she's like, I don't care. I want to play more. Please don't step on it, Willie. Don't mind the cat. And then Oliver liked it enough. Sorry, buddy. Oliver liked it enough to give it a 9. So that's pretty good praise from my son because he's begrudgingly starting to play more board games. And he was really pleased with this one, so I can't complain. It took him a minute to get it. Didn't it, Oliver?
Yeah.
So it took him a minute to understand it and get it. But once he got it, he really enjoyed it. So that is Doomcat from Charming Games Collective. And as always, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Also, check out Red Raccoon Games for all your tabletop needs. They ship nationwide. Their website is redraccoongames.net. And then always check out Board Game Revolution on Facebook. They're my favorite group to go and talk about games. I post my reviews there. They're good people. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.